Alright, Shalom. Coming to the name of Yahweh, Bashem Ashai, Bashem Kakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone. We rule well. And salutations unto the Arkham that continue to push the word in truth and in sincerity. Now, I tried doing this video yesterday, but I was outside and there's a bit of noise. So, but it's just more on the food shortages. This is from Sky News. From a couple of days ago, and it says food shortages could force a third of fish and chip shops to close. Britain is reliant on Ukraine for sunflower oil and Russia for white fish. So the future of a Friday night fish supper is in jeopardy now. The British ain't known for much, man. Limited talent in terms of exporting, man. Britain's known for like Boeing engines for 747 aircrafts and Rolls Royce. But other than that, Britain don't really export anything too important, man. And that all feeds into the bottomless pit. It's just a wasteland and not much going on here. Heavily dependent upon imports, man. Not exports to put out, imports to bring in. So when you're heavily reliant on importation, when problems occur, you're not facing it, feeling the brunt of it. Now, the British, they like their fish and chips. I say business leaders in the fish and chips industry are calling on the government to offer a long-term strategy to their food shortages crisis, or face a third of chippies closing. The National Federation of Fish Fries has warned the four key ingredients that make up a traditional fish and chip meal are deeply affected by the ongoing conflicts between Russia and Ukraine, and are forcing shops to change their menus, increase prices, or in the worst instance, close down. The UK is mainly reliant on Ukraine for sunflower oil. The NFFF has said 50% of oil used by British fish and chip shops comes from the war-stricken country, and alternatives like rapeseed oil and palm oil have shot up in price. Up to 40% of cod haddock comes from Russia, and Britain's sanctions on Russian white fish will make these North Sea supplies scarcer and pricier. Fertilizers for potatoes, mainly from Russia, have tripled in price. Flour used for fish batter mixes also hails from the region. So you get the picture. It's pretty much fucked. Right now, let me see if that particular app. Right, second is 9. Second is 9 and 6, and it says, even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. So, all these things that's going on, these constitute to the effects. Okay, various signs happening, man. Things happening, it should spark light bulbs, man. You got signs in the moon, that's been in the news lately, last couple of days, the sun, right? Let me jump down to verse 8. It shall be preserved. Read from verse 7. And everyone that shall be saved shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed. Speaking of the elect upon the earth doing the work, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land, and wherewith my and within my borders. For I have sanctified them from the beginning. What does that remind us of? John the 17th chapter. Then shall they be in pitiful case, you know. And when you look, man, these people out here, man, this is a fast food world, man. You know, within the food industry, outside of the food industry, everything is just fast paced, man. You want it, you got it now. And people have become accustomed to it, which is quite damaging because, you know, the real world, the Eastern world, doesn't really work, which is the ancient world, doesn't really work like that, man. Want it now, you know, in 10 minutes you got it. That's some bullshit, man. Because it's not even proper, it's just processed stuff, man. You know. Right? But the point is, people have been people have been conditioned to get things straight away. You know, so when people ain't eating regularly, you know, their body's gonna have an adverse reaction to that, man. You know, part of that pitiful case is, you know, not even having ingredients to make food, man. Which is what this is what they're experiencing. Now, Abarazah, we're not a part of that because the scripture says, my servant shall eat. So that's the other side. That's them is talking about, not us. But it says, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. You know. And obviously this gets into a numerous amount of things, but man, come on, man. You know, food shortages just gonna get worse. If people can't eat out here, that's they're gonna be in torments, man. You know. Okay. Let me pull up. Chapter. Salaki, I don't know if the camera, the microphone's picking up my stomach, man. Salaki about that, if you can hear that. Right. Matthew 24:7, for nation shall rise against nation, which we say, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine. Now that gets into Daniel as well, man. You know, partly the miry clay. You know, the iron and miry clay, partly strong, partly weak. All these different divisions, man. Okay. And then you got Russia, which is not one of the 7 heads. Gog and Magog. You know, saying Ezekiel. So we could clearly see Bible prophecy coming to pass, man. But it says here back in Matthew 24:7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines. Okay? So this is what we're seeing, bruv. You know, like they had that meme from that scene for EastEnders, one of them soap operas over here in the UK, where Ian Bill, he was going to Phil Mitchell, I've got nothing left. You know, and he starts crying and putting his head in Phil's shoulders, in the bosom of Phil Mitchell. That kind of became a meme. Well, Sri Lanka out there, they got nothing left. You know, the end of the camp sent me an article which was reading at the camp last week. And Sri Lanka's penniless. They were operating now off loans. But prior to that, they were literally, the government was penniless, man. You know. So you see these things happen, man. You know. There shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. Verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrow. So we know exactly what time we're living in, man. You know, all these people. I don't know. What do you think? Oh, some certain times. It's not uncertain times, man. It's certain times for the elect, man. Okay, 'cause we know what's up, man. Lord willing, we endure to the end. Scripture clearly tells us these are the beginning of sorrows, man. Okay, we're in the light and not in darkness, man. But yeah, you got a lot going on out here. More on the famines, man. It's only gonna grow worse. So yeah. Anyways, of that, man. I'm gonna wrap it up. I'll see you in the next show. Shalom.